Alright, what's up guys? How's it going? I am Silo Simon. Just small introduction about me. I just run lots of stupid games. This one's a good game. It's kind of a good game, like, with lots and lots of glaring flaws. But some of those we can abuse a lot, which is really nice, so we're gonna be definitely doing a lot of that. So if you guys don't know what Flip's Twisted World is, I'm sure most of you probably don't. Flip's Twisted World is a Wii exclusive puzzle platformer game. A lot of the game centers around your ability to be able to flip the world in like a 90-degree turn. So you can flip it like left or right or up and down and kind of change the gravity the gravity that you're experiencing in the room. So essentially there's a lot of puzzles and stuff we have to do throughout a lot of the levels, but we can skip a lot of that by abusing a lot of things that the devs just didn't really want you to do. There's a lot of things I can explain about it, but I'll explain more along the way, just so I don't spend a bunch of time explaining here. But anyway, so I'm just gonna create a file really quick here. Time will start in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so I skip a cutscene there at the beginning. That kind of explains a little bit about Flip. He's a little wizard apprentice dude who kind of studies under this wizard mage guy who has a ton of books, and Flip goes and reads basically like a cursed book and gets trapped inside the book. First, we're going to actually start this run off, though, with getting a little glitch here, which I like to dub the Cruise Boost glitch, kind of named after the Battle for Bikini Bottom Cruise Boost glitch. Essentially, it kind of works similarly, where it'll kind of give us a little bit of forward momentum whenever we're not moving, or if we're in a cutscene, it will also move us during cutscenes. And if we're moving forward while having the Cruise Boost, we gain a bunch of extra speed, which lets us move very fast. And that's just with this stage in particular. At the moment, we only have our beginning suit. There are a bunch of different suits you can get throughout the game that do a bunch of different things. They have a bunch of different power-ups and abilities. Some of them like let you do stuff like walk on water or do some other stuff like that. But essentially, we want to focus on just our main suit, and we're going to be collecting a bunch of coins for a suit later that lets us, believe it or not, actually move even faster. So in that room there, we can also get Cruise Boost by actually grabbing objects, but the only way, like the way that Cruise Boost happens is if you just interrupt your swinging animation. It will just give you that little forward momentum stuff while you do that. It's kind of interesting, but I think it's just because of the animation of his swing that has a little bit of a forward push that just kind of indefinitely stays while you interrupt it, because it's never like told not to stop, I guess. But either way, there is a lot of ways you can lose your Cruise Boost, though. If you get hit by any enemies, if you fall into water, or if you just swing again, you can actually lose it there. Oh, nice. I fell too far. Dang. Got stuck there. It's not a huge deal. It's just a little bit nicer if I don't get stuck there, because if I do void out, or if I die, then I also lose my Cruise Boost. But anyway, so we're going through the first tutorial world here. There's a bunch of different worlds throughout this game for each chapter of the book, I guess. And this first chapter, we're going through a little slug world. It's kind of a nice little easy tutorial world. We're going to do a big platforming skip here. If you land on any enemies or any of those towers while gravity is sideways, and you do your double jump off onto them, you can actually totally negate taking fall damage. Flip takes fall damage from actually surprisingly not very high heights at all. So if we had just landed on the platform there instead of on that little tower, we actually would have totally died. Another way that we can actually die very easily, in this boss room, for example, if we just jumped off of that platform there, instead of just walking down to fall down here onto the little floor here, we would have actually died. It's just that much fall damage, like that much fall that makes us take fall damage. And if you take fall damage, you die instantly. And if you are at the beginning, or sorry, if you die in one of the little platforming rooms, then you actually restart from the very beginning of the section. No matter if you've hit any checkpoints or not, there's some checkpoints you can get throughout the level, but they're only useful for if you void out. But yeah, so we finished the little tutorial boss there. He's not really too hard. We just have to smack him and then lead him into the little salt shaker there, and he will die after 3 hits, so he's not a terribly exciting boss. One thing is, this game can crash very easily, so there's a lot of instances where it might end up crashing, and thankfully it's not a huge time waste. If the game does crash, there's only like a handful of places where it's really bad, just because we end up having to redo some stuff. But we're getting into the second world here. This next world is kind of like a castle knight themed level, world section kind of thing, whatever you call it. Chapter, I guess. We're going to get cruise boost again here, and we're going to grab a potion from the chest here. Every chest that you see throughout the game will have a health potion in it. The health potions are really useful because we will usually end up getting hit by a lot of enemies while we're running around, and if you have a health potion, it will just, and you use it, you'll gain all of your health back, which is pretty useful. You can carry about 6 potions on you at all times, so we can stock up on those anytime we stop by the shops if we have some excess money, which usually after we are done saving up our money to buy the next suit, we will pick up plenty of coins as we're just platforming along in a bunch of sections. Nice. I thankfully didn't die there. I didn't mean to turn the world that direction. It's kind of easy to mess up the direction that you're trying to push the world, by the way, because the way the world turning works is actually kind of complicated, but you can either hold B and turn your joystick a certain direction, or if you want to, you can also turn the Wiimote, and the thing is, you can't choose to have one on or the other, so a lot of the times, like, if you're not too careful, the Wiimote, just moving it a little bit will sometimes end up making you turn the world a direction you don't want to, which can be very punishing. Alright, we're gonna try and hit this exit here. Dang, we just barely missed it. We can just skip this whole entire room here by nice. This flip is noticeably, as you can maybe tell, a little slippery. You can slip off of objects pretty easily if you're not too careful. Alright, we just want to try and get a good jump here. If we can get stuck between these little things, there we go. If we get stuck there, we're actually able to do a double jump a little bit later, and if we hit that exit there, we skip that entire room. So that's a very nice skip that saves a good amount of time. Alright, this next room is pretty cool. It's got a lot going on with it, and if this is one of the rooms where if we end up coming back into this room, if it crashes, it's going to be really bad, because it has an event in the room that ends up, like, if you reset a room, if you have to, like, reset your game entirely, which if the game crashes you do have to do that, you'll have to, like, redo some parts, which kind of sucks, but it's not a huge deal if it happens. It's just, like, pretty much if you're on a really good paced run, it will probably end up killing a lot of time, so it really depends on how good your PB is. So you notice there was another coin that we jumped for at the beginning of the level. As long as you pass by the coin, you'll actually be able to still get it. It'll just kind of follow you, sort of like the 1-ups in Super Mario 64. They'll just kind of trail you until they run into you. Or if you do leave the area though, then you won't get the coin. So you do have to make sure it runs into you. So we got the shovel for that little guy, and he'll open up that door there for us. And then this section here has a lot of enemies that we have to beat up, and a bunch of coins we can grab as well. So we're going to do both of those things. And we're going to actually get a new weapon in this room, which will be kind of fun. And the way we're going to do that you guys will see here is actually kind of neat, and we're gonna skip a large section coming up if we finish killing these enemies here, and then grab the power up, but you guys will see that in just a moment. Just need to do a little bit of beating these enemies up. If we do use the ground pound, it actually will let us actually, I need to make sure I don't mess this up. I did mess this up, dang. I died. So that's how easy you can die from fall damage, by the way. If you just turn the world the wrong way by accident and you fall just a little bit of distance, very easy to lose a bunch of time from dying because you reset the entire room like this. So we're going to have to beat up those enemies again, but that was kind of my bad. I was not being a little careful there when I was trying to fall onto that pillar. We were trying to get onto a very little pillar there so we can grab some coins that are on a different little plane of gravity. We have to be kind of sideways in this room here. Coins up there if you can see them. Alright, just do that, and then turn the world there. There we go. Didn't mess up that time. Gonna grab these coins. Gonna turn the world again, grab these coins. Gonna jump across there, and that's one of a few platforming skips. There, not a few, but there's a lot of platforming skips we can do with the cruise boost that we have here. So it's pretty nice and useful for that in a lot of different areas, just for movement and to be able to make it across a couple sections without having to take a massive detour. So we're gonna exit back out of that room, and this is the one time that would really be nice if the game doesn't crash, please. Okay, good. Alright, sweet. That's awesome. Alright, so we leave that room and go back in so that we can save the amount of coins that we got from that room, because if we enter this room here and we're going to do the skip I was talking about a second ago, we actually need to reset the room, so we don't want to collect coins in that time because we won't end up keeping them. So we reset the room there after grabbing the second weapon that we get, and what's supposed to happen is we grab that weapon and we fall through a like hole in the floor, and it will lead us to this long detour that's pretty, I would say definitely pretty time consuming. It takes like probably a good 3 or 4 minutes to get through, but if you just reset the room at the same time as you start the cutscene for getting the item, for whatever reason you just keep the item, so it's just way faster if you just reset the room there. And yeah, it's actually not a terribly hard skip to do either. You have a pretty large frame window to reset the room there. But anyway, so we are just gonna make a little bit more platforming skips that we do here. Back there I did a fall to the checkpoint, and if you actually void out while you hit a checkpoint, you'll still just load at that checkpoint, so that's pretty nice for that little area there. It's a nice skip, and we fell down to that tower there so we could save a little bit of time on platforming. One thing that is really useful about the cruise boost is we can actually push blocks way faster than we can normally push them, or even normally pull them. So doing that is very, very useful. We just want to make sure to cancel our cruise boost before we finish pushing the block, or else it'll push it during the cutscene and push it off of the button, which is really bad. So we're going to skip a giant amount of stuff in this room. This room has a massive like escort quest, and effectively we have to lure this king across a bunch of platforms and activate a bunch of buttons so he can get across a lot of different bridges, and there's several of those. But if we just get cruise boost and let the gravity kind of throw him across the room, we can just actually just skip that entire section very easily, and that saves multiple minutes for sure. It's very, very helpful, useful. Alright, so we're gonna turn the world over here so we can grab some coins. Just grabbing a lot of coins in this room because they have a decent amount in here. We're gonna fall into this room here. We need to grab a key for this room that we're in, but I'll explain that in a second. We do some jumps there at the beginning of the room to skip a cutscene that plays. A lot of rooms will have cutscenes at the beginning of them, but if you just jump, like if you're in the air for whatever reason, a lot of cutscenes won't start. So you can just avoid having that cutscene start entirely by just spamming jump at the beginning there. So we're gonna abuse the cruise boost push mechanic, like the push glitch thing, where we can basically push our blocks and whatnot a lot quicker. We're gonna make sure to get rid of cruise boost before we push this final button there, or else we would have pushed that little night thing off, and that would have closed the gate again. So we get the key there. We're gonna turn the world here and then quickly do a ground pound so that we void out, and then we can just abuse the checkpoint that is at the beginning of the area we started in, and just head right back in through the exit so we can get back into this room really quick. There's a lot of checkpoint abuse that we use. I actually did use it earlier as well. It's just, yeah, sorry, there's a lot to explain throughout this run, but so we're gonna grab a couple more coins here while we're in here, and we need to open up this gate so we can activate that lever, and we need to open that specific gate because that gate will let us use the lever that lets us open that door. And we're actually going to skip grabbing the second key that we need by just simply doing jump over here to this spider, and then we can just jump all the way up to or jump all the way to this area without needing to grab the second key, which saves a lot of time as well, because in this to get the second key you have to do a second room that takes a lot longer than that other room we did. And yeah, it saves quite a bit of time. But anyway, if Flip will frickin' swing here, thank you. Alright. We're gonna try to do a really big skip. It's probably one of the hardest skips in the game. If I don't get it within a couple tries, I'll probably just do this room casually just because this is a very tricky skip. Nice, I didn't get the jump there. One thing you do have to be careful of when you're trying to do this skip is you do have to just have extremely precise jumps and a ground pound that's extremely precise as well. But we're effectively going to try and hit this loading zone here in this room. Alright. Dang it, we were very close. We almost made it. But yeah, it's a very tough trick, but it saves easily about like 2 minutes or so. So hopefully we can get it here pretty quick. Might have jumped a little too early there. Dang, I was pretty close still. If we're lucky enough, we might end up not getting the ground pound, but sometimes Flip, when he lands, he'll like do a really large bounce because of how far he's falling down. And sometimes that bounce can actually like push us into the loading zone enough. There we go, we got it. Nice. That was only like third or fourth try. That's pretty good. That definitely saved that time. So that's sweet. All right, we're gonna need to grab some coins here because we have a couple more coins to grab before we can afford the suit that I was talking about. So we're gonna get some cruise boost speed here. Oh, actually, I'm dumb. I totally miscounted. We have plenty of coins. Let's go. We don't need to do that. That's fine. All right, we just need 300 coins to be able to purchase the Speedster suit. And if you were wondering, this Speedster suit does, in fact, stack with cruise boost speed. So we get a bunch of speed with this. And we're able to do some pretty crazy platform skips. Also, throughout the whole game, if you got really good at platforming with cruise boost, you'd probably want to do it just about everywhere. But there's a lot of sections where it's very hard to get some skips if you are using cruise boosting, and also sometimes where you need to get rid of cruise boost anyway. So pretty much we'll be using cruise boost in Speedster suit for a good couple of skips, but not like a ridiculously significant amount. We're gonna definitely try and use it to do some fast platforming as well, but it's very tricky, and with how slippery Flip is, it's very easy to die, like very easy, and easy to like fall and take fall damage and have to reset an entire room, and you'll lose tons and tons of time if you do that. So this boss here is the boss of the little night world here. It's a little night dragon, and we can actually, when the night dragon gets back up, we can kind of push him so we can start moving to the next section a little quicker, the next door we need to stand in front of. We need to stand in front of 4 of these doors and have him ram into each one and then hit him with the little chain, ball and chain thing here. So there's definitely a couple of bosses that require very specific weapons to damage them, and this boss is one of them, where even if we could theoretically skip the spike and ball chain, we wouldn't be able to damage this boss anyway. So unless we were able to skip all of the bosses, we probably will never be able to skip the chain. Or if there's some crazy way to damage him, but as far as I'm aware, there's not. So anyway, so that's the final hit. We just need to wait till he gets back up here, and then we get the second chapter stone. We need to collect 6 of these stones to open up a little portal in the middle of our little hub world, and that will lead us to like the final boss. So if we were able to find like some loading zone or something in this hub world, or some way to get to the last boss without needing to go through any of the other worlds, it would still be a pretty long run, because the boss very specific. Nice, I ran off the edge here. The boss specifically is kind of made for you to use all of the power-ups on, but you can actually just use your book if you were able to skip to there. It would just take a very long time. So this world here is kind of a nature-themed world, a kind of grassland-themed world. And we're gonna need to go out of our way here to push a couple buttons, because we're gonna need to grab a water gun power-up. That is the power-up in this world. Each world has like a little power-up you can get. And press the button with that statue there so that we can press this button here. And then that'll open up this door. And we need to, yeah, just take a little bit of a detour to get that water gun. We do need the water gun to actually damage one of the bosses later on, and also to do a couple of, to get through a couple of rooms that need the water gun that I have no idea of any way of how to skip it. So if we were able to find skips later, it might be useful. The thing about it is anytime you're skipping any of the power-ups, you have to make it worth it with the amount of time you save with skipping it to actually save time by skipping the power-up, because you can end up losing a lot of time by just not having the power-up later. Alright, so we grabbed the water gun there. That's pretty nice. And we're gonna... Oh yeah, I'm meant to go this way. I was thinking I was in a different room. We need to shoot these little flowers here, and there's a couple different flowers like this throughout the game. They just give us these little... nice, I missed the leaf platform there. They're like little leaf trampolines, and they will let us kind of bounce up to the next area. We can actually skip the water gun if we wanted, but then we wouldn't be able to defeat one of the bosses later, so no reason to skip it at the moment, unfortunately. Alright, so we go into there, and now we're going to skip a large section of this room here by doing a pretty easy skip. We're gonna just jump over to this platform here. The hardest part is landing on this freaking log. Oh wait, okay. I actually wasn't sure if we were gonna fall and take fall damage and die, so I ran off there just in case. Okay, let me just do that again there because I couldn't see the log. But we just need to land on this log, but with how freaking slippery Flip is, it's very easy to jump onto it and then just immediately fall off. So let me try this again here. Alright, we want to... There we go. Very good. Just don't void out here. Okay, good. Alright. Awesome. So then we just need to... Oh, crap, I messed that up. We're gonna turn a little bit... There we go. So we just need to grab this statue here and press this button with that statue. So that'll activate a little flame there, and we need to turn that flame down there. So that'll open up a little a door that's kind of guarded by a lock. And, well, sorry, it'll open up a section that'll give us a key that we can grab, and then that will let us open the locked door. My bad. Alright, we're gonna make sure not to fall all the way down this pyramid, or else we will die if we fall all the way down that length. So we gotta make sure to take the stairs. Because again, Flip will take fall damage very, very, very easily. Like, it's kind of insane how small of a height he can take fall damage from. We're gonna try and shoot this gong here across the room. And not get blocked by these enemies, nice. Alright, and just shoot these enemies. There we go. We're gonna take a potion there because we're low on health. Awesome. Those little health cubes those cubes you saw, those are health. They give me 1 health anytime I grab them. Alright, so we're gonna go over here to grab another key in this room. Just need to fall down here and then turn the world here. Turn it. Nice. I did not mean to do that. We're gonna. Oh wait, we didn't take fall damage. Oh wait, no, we're gonna still take fall damage and die. Yep. I was gonna say we were getting stuck, but it wasn't letting me turn the world. So if I'm not able to turn the world, I will most likely die from fall damage if I make a mistake like that. All right, let's try that again. Thankfully, that wasn't nearly as bad as it could have. As bad of a fall damage death as I could have taken. That was not a huge detour, but anyway. Yeah, Flip's kind of annoying sometimes because if you are starting to try and turn the world, he will occasionally just move a little bit while you're doing that, which can be make it very easy to fall off of the edge of stuff while you're trying to platform. But anyway, so this room has like 4 gongs throughout the room that you're supposed to hit that are kind of spread across the room. But if you just shoot the same gong 4 times, that still opens up the gate anyway. So that is a much faster and easier way to get through that room. Oh crap, I don't want to. Okay, good. I'm gonna say we don't want to die. First and foremost, we're gonna fall down here so that we can go onto this roof here. We want to make sure not to jump here and just fall here so that we don't die of fall damage. And we're gonna jump in through this window and go into here. We just stopped by that shop really quick to just buy a bunch of potions because it's pretty nice to stock up on potions once in a while. Especially because some skips are pretty hard and require us to take damage while trying to do them. Nice, I got stuck. So we're gonna definitely try to stock up on potions whenever we can and try not to use them if we don't need to unless we're on like 1 health basically. Alright, so that was an unnecessary amount of struggle, but we're gonna go through this room here so that we can pick up another key that we need. And we pull out the book here so that we can hit these plants a little quicker, these piranha plant things. We need to kill 2 of these piranha plants, so that'll open up a gate, which will give us a key there. And then we can actually void out in this area so that we can just get teleported back to the beginning of the room. And just go through the door that we came in. And then we're gonna go ahead and jump on down here and go through this gate. Alright, so this next section's pretty interesting. We have to jump across to another section here by using another tree here to make it across. We're going to just jump over here to these set of gongs. There's another gong on the flip side of this platform, so we need to flip it a good 180 here. Turn the world there, and then just land on that there. Don't fall. Okay, good. And then hit that gong there. We're gonna jump over this direction so we can grab another potion. It's just a free potion, and we might as well. And then we just need to press that button there so that will raise this pyramid up through the water. If we're ever able to find a glitch to fall through water, that would be extremely helpful for a couple different sections. But dude, I fell and died. Nice. That was really stupid of me. That's okay. That's a bit of a time loss, but that was an unnecessary jump. I should have just fallen instead. It wasn't really dumb of me. It's just one of those things where it's like, you know, you kind of don't expect Flip to die from distances that you can fall down by just running instead of yeah. Pretty much a lot of times there's just distances where you can fall down by running off of the platform, but you can't jump off of the platform because that tiny bit of extra height is enough to kill you. It's pretty great. Anyway, we don't need to grab that potion again because for some reason whenever you reset rooms you do keep the potions that you have, so that's kind of nice if you're like low on money and you're barely first running the game, or if you're just casually playing the game, if you buy potions and just reset the room, you keep the potions you have, but you get the money back. So that's kind of nice if you're ever needing some. So just make sure not to do that. Okay, there we go. That was, yeah, totally unnecessary death. But anyway, so there's a little memory path here that we need to lead this guy down on, and just need to carve out the path really quick. You just need to step on the right tiles, and then that will get this guy to start walking across. Oh wait, crap, I missed a tile apparently. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Sadly, I have not found any way to get through this door in a faster way than having to wait for this guy, because you can actually do a thing where you can, like a glitch, sort of a glitch, it's not really a glitch I would say, but you basically duplicate keys that you get by just resetting the game back to the home menu. Well, not the home menu, but like going back to the main menu of the game and just going back into your game. You can go collect keys that you've collected before. So you can skip this room, but it's just slower to actually do that altogether, sadly, for this section. So we have to wait there for him. The fastest thing you can do is just try to get through this section as quick as you can. Crap. I need to not take a bunch of damage here. I just want to get cruise boost here. If we get hit by that boulder, we actually do like void back to the beginning of the room. So want to make sure not to do that. We're gonna get cruise boost just so we can platform through here a bit quicker. And then want to make sure not to run while that cutscene plays, because it's very easy to run off there. I died. Cool. Dang. I was about to use the potion, but I was hoping that jump over that enemy would have been enough to not get hit. It's pretty easy to get hit though, because the instant that you lose your invincibility, the instant you stop like doing the little blinking invincibility frames thing, you can get hit again, and it's very, very, very easy to get hit by enemies in this game. They're pretty good at like lining up to like these perfect spots where you're just about ready to get totally wrecked if you just do one little thing wrong. Nice. I totally missed that jump. That was actually kind of beautiful. I'm glad this checkpoint exists, but that was actually sad. All right. No big deal, though. We're just going to pretend like that didn't happen. Alright. So, this room has a pretty crazy skip that we can do. The boss room to this world is actually in this area here, but we can't quite get into it yet. There are 4 trials that we need to get through in this game, or in this room, to actually be able to get through the door so it'll open. So we need to beat up some of these enemies first here, and that will open up these side doors. There are 4 different trials throughout each of these little loading zones. But the fun thing is we are just going to do this trial first. But I actually should have gotten cruise boost. I actually just recently discovered that you can get cruise boost anywhere. Before I thought you could only get it from grabbing objects, so sometimes I might forget to do cruise boost right away. But it's a little bit better if you have cruise boost here, just so you can save a little time on movement. So anyway, we do that first trial, and then we're actually going to just chill here for a second and void out. And what happens is normally when you finish a trial, every trial sends you out that same door. So if you just void out 3 times and have it reload you to that little spawn point, it will just skip all 3 of the other trials, and you can just go on to the boss fight. So that's a pretty massive skip that saves a good amount of time, and it's very easy to do as well. Alright, so this boss fight's pretty cool. I pulled out the wrong weapon here. There we go. Just need to pull out the water gun. Alright, so this boss here is like a little monkey triplet fight. We need to hit them with the water gun, and then we need to hit them with either the book or the chain. And the chain's just a little easier to pull out, but effectively we can actually skip a little section of this fight by doing a jump while we are turning the world. And what that does is that actually lets us do a double jump when we're not supposed to, because normally if you turn the world without doing a jump beforehand, you'll just fall and you won't be able to do a double jump. but you are able to actually get a jump, and freaking if Flip would stop doing stupid stuff, that'd be great. Flip, thanks. Normally when you're playing this level, you're supposed to jump across a bunch of panels that will open up. Oh crap, yeah, I just totally fell and did not fall in the water. If I fall too far like that, then I can die. That's not good. Anyway, let me try this again. So, I'm going to pull back out the costume. This out, there we go. Yeah, need to make sure to fall into the water there, or else you will fall and you'll take fall damage and die and have to reset the entire boss, like I just did, because I wasn't being careful. Okay. Alright. Just hit him again there, and yeah, you are able to save a decent little bit of time by jumping across there, though, because, yeah, normally you have to wait for these panels to open, and sometimes it will just randomly take a lot longer to get these panels to open than other times. Dang it, we didn't make it. Thankfully we didn't take fall damage and die there, though. Alright. Dude, I fell too much. I was trying to get the jump there, but pretty much it only lets you get the double jump pretty late after you do the jump there. Alright, so fall down there. There we go. Took a little bit of time. Come on. Alright. Okay. I'll be careful here. Want to make sure not to fall through those either, because if you fall through one of those holes, you'll just void out, and that's kind of slow. Alright, so that was kind of not the best boss fight, but that's okay. That is the third boss, though. Finished the third area, and now we're on to the fourth world, which is an ice-themed world. And yes, that does mean ice physics, which, if you thought Flip wasn't slippery enough already, Flip gets a good bit more slippery, and that's fun, especially with cruise boost speed and using the speedster suit. Can be a fun time. Let's just say that much. But we're gonna start this world here by every world starts with a cutscene, so we can just mash through the cutscene by pressing start. And we're gonna jump over to this area here. We're gonna try and land on this little troll dude, and nice. I tried to get the world to turn there, but Flip moved a little bit when I turned it, so he fell off. That's the thing, is I feel like it's almost random when he just decides to move a tiny bit, which is, if you're on a very tiny platform, it is extremely bad. Just makes, like, and I don't know, casual play of this game can be pretty crazy because of just how often things can go totally wrong when you don't mean for them to. It's pretty hilarious. Alright, so we fall down there onto that work there, and then we just need to land on this platform so we can get around a little bit further over here so we can make it to this area and jump into the door that we just opened. Sadly, we can't clip through that door, so it's the fastest way for us to get through it. So this room here is kind of fun. We have to build a snowman by gathering up 3 of these big snowballs here. Don't want these penguins to push them off, or any of these enemies to push them off, because if they push off the snowballs, they will respawn back to the spot that they started at. So it's very slow if we have to end up getting any of the snowballs, pushing any of the snowballs back. Hopefully this, usually I do this in a different order. Hopefully that doing this 1/3 won't be totally bad. I don't think it will be. Yeah, it should be fine, as long as we don't take fall damage and die. Please. Okay, good. Alright. Sweet. So we made it through that room. We just need to push those snowballs into that little area, and that will, like, kind of just automatically assemble a snowman, and then you're able to get through that door. I'm going to just move a little bit over to the side here so that we can do a jump immediately, so that we can void out at the right time and hit that door. If we make sure to space out our falls enough to where we can do a double jump and then have it void us out right before we hit a door or loading zone, it's pretty nice, because if you don't have enough room to fall to do that stuff, then you actually need to end up doing a ground pound, so you delay your fall even more. Nice, I did not get that. Oh, wait, there it is. I was gonna say, where the frick did it go? Sometimes gravity breaks, by the way, so that's one thing that happens. Just gonna reset this room. Sometimes gravity breaks for some objects and they just start floating. And that's not great with the blocks. The blocks are kind of important, and we need them to not be doing that. So I'm gonna just reset that here. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we just want to get that to fall down here. It didn't die of fall damage, that's good. Actually, I'm gonna push that. One thing that's nice about the ice blocks is they can be pushed actually pretty quick. I stepped on the button, I did not leave the ice block there. I want to make sure to... One thing we definitely would want to avoid is if we push buttons and we miss actually putting the blocks onto them, we don't want to step off of the buttons, or else we'll have to watch the cutscene of the gate opening again, and that's lame. Alright, so this room here, we are going to be picking up our next power-up. That is going to be, I wonder if you guys can guess what kind of power-up it might be in this lovely snow-themed world. We need to wait for this platform here, and we need to unfreeze this orc buddy's friend so they can play hockey. He's a big block of frozen ice over here, and we just need to maneuver him over to a fire pit that's over there. One thing that's fun about this room, when you're leaving this, putting this guy onto this platform here, is there is a button over there that normally you're supposed to kind of, like, you can go and pick up some extras over here if you're trying to 100% the game, and there's a button over there that lets you get a staircase going that'll activate a cutscene. And if you have that, nice, I totally messed that up. I did that way too early. Okay, we just want to pull him back. We can do this. We can do this. Just don't push him off. Just don't push him off. Oh, okay. Okay. We can do this, guys. Okay, we can do this. Turn him that way. We can do this. We can get him off this ledge. All right. Okay, so we want to... Garsh. Turn the world again there, maybe. This might not be the best situation. I might just want to reset this room. Let's see. Just trying to get a good, like, I'm trying to push him up a little bit if I can. I don't think I can, though. Yeah, he's gonna, like, not quite fall over there. It's his little predicament. We got this, boys. Come on. Come on. I'm just gonna reset this room. This is probably going to be a hassle to actually get him to face the right way. I just pushed him off a little too soon, and him being stuck there is very not good. Me not being able to pull him up that little bit of hill is pretty bad. Anyway, sorry about that. We're gonna have to wait for him again, because I was impatient. Pushed him off just a tiny bit too soon. Alright. Anyway, so yeah, if you if one of the enemies end up pressing one of the buttons over there by just stepping on it randomly, while this ice block is on this platform, it will actually fall off because for whatever reason, I guess, like, blocks and stuff won't move while the moving platform is moving. Like, the moving platform will keep moving, but the ice block will just fall off entirely, so it's pretty funny if that happens, but yeah. Fun times. Alright, make sure not to be impatient and push it off too early. Literally just huge waste of time for no reason. Push it into the fire pit, flip. There we go. Sometimes it's a little picky about where it wants you to put it. Alright, so we're gonna get our next power up here, which is a little ice spray can, which lets us freeze enemies and do a couple other things. We, thankfully, there aren't really any enemies that we need to spray. Well, okay, there's one enemy we need to spray. Literally, like, one enemy we need to spray throughout the whole entire game. And the spray's a little slow, so just gonna use it the one time. Nice, I picked the wrong weapon there. There we go. And we need to push this ice block in a specific way so that it doesn't fall off that ledge there. Thankfully, It did kind of stop there for a second, so me doing that second push was a little risky, but thankfully it didn't fall off. Pretty much, yeah, if you push that the right way, it'll go just about the right distance, but if you push it off of the edge, then you have to freeze the enemy again, and that's really lame. Alright, so we got that done. We're gonna do another skip where we just kind of fall into a loading zone by voiding out and hitting the loading zone, and thankfully the loading zone, hitting the loading zones does override the command for us to void out and respawn, so it's definitely useful. We're gonna go out of our way here to grab a key, and we're gonna get cruise boost so we can void out and get sent back to the beginning of this room here. And we're actually going to reset the game by going to the menu here, going to the title menu and going back in. As I mentioned earlier, you can duplicate keys by doing this, and we're actually going to do that right now with this key we just grabbed, because the next section we're going to be going to actually has a key that it requires you to grab as well. But if you just make sure to grab that key and dupe it, and get it a second time, then you can save a pretty good amount of time, like probably about a minute or so. I'm gonna put on the speedster suit while I get some cruise boost going. Go over here and swing really quick so we get rid of cruise boost. And so you can see we have 2 keys now instead of just 1 that we had earlier. And we can use 1 key on this gate, and then we keep another key for another section. Alright, so we have to get this little ice platform to melt here so we can go into the next section. We need to lure that little fire enemy over to there so he can melt it, and then we're gonna step around these crabs real quick and then try to get cruise boost here so we can move through this little section a lot quicker. We move a bit slow when we're going up this slide, so getting cruise boost makes it a good bit quicker. Alright, and we just need to get these enemies to, or one of the fire enemies to roll over here onto this ice platform. And then we're gonna turn the world and platform into here. And then we just need to jump this way. And then we use that key that we duped earlier on the store. And that saves a good bit of time because we'd have to go back through that entire section backwards again after we press a button that lets us get through the door that lets us grab the key in that other room. So when we end up duping the key instead, it's just, yeah, it saves a lot of time. It's very useful. We're gonna try and push this little skateboard here, little snowboard there, and hopefully it doesn't fall off the edge, because that's mostly what's important here. We need to lead that little snowboard to a fire pit. We want to make sure these penguins don't end up messing this up, so we gotta kill them really quick. Alright, and we're gonna push this off. We just need to push this into this fire here. Nice, that was very well done. Just need to make sure not to die. Okay, good. Sweet. Very well done. Awesome. So yeah, we need to melt that little ice block that contains our snowboard, and it can be very easy to mess that section up, so it's very good that we didn't. We're gonna do a little... Oh, nice, I messed that up. I turned the world the wrong way. If you're not facing a very specific way, it can be very easy to mess up the orientation of where you're trying to turn. Alright. Ah, dang, I should have done a jump there. A double jump, so I could end up delaying it. Alright. There we go. Okay. Sweet, so we just need to jump down to that orc there so we can jump over to the door there. We can actually avoid having to jump onto the orc and just jump onto the loading zone if you're really, really precise, but it's not very easy to do, so it's a lot easier just to... nice. Totally messed that up. I was trying to cruise boost and jump across. It's very easy to just not get a jump when you're trying to run off a ledge, because this game is extremely picky with letting you jump while you're on a ledge. I don't know why. But yeah, I was just trying to get a cruise boost there so we didn't need to take any damage while we were landing. But we're gonna get rid of our cruise boost here, and we want to make sure to stand a little bit back here so that we can do a second jump very early and hit that Oh, nice. I missed the loading zone just barely. We want to hit that loading zone, and that saves a good bit of time with platforming skips and whatnot. Alright. I'm going to try this again here. Not too nice. Of course, I fell off with the cruise boost speed. Dang. Yeah, it's not too difficult. Hopefully we can get it pretty quick here. You do a little ground pound if you don't have quite enough distance. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of the cruise boost here just because it's going to probably get me killed. Alright, try this again. Do a second jump there and hit that door so that we can hit that loading zone and get through that section. And then we're gonna need to hit this loading zone here, and this is the boss door of this section. Want to make sure to do a ground pound there so we have enough time to void out and not die from fall damage. This boss is actually pretty crazy. It's a kind of like drill shark kind of boss. It's really weird, but this boss has a really crazy exploit. If we can pull it off, we need to first hit this boss here, and then we need to get back onto this platform. Normally, if we face away from the platform, it will flip over, but for whatever reason, if we end up getting back onto it and then having him trying to attack us again from forward motion, then we can actually quick kill the boss, and that saves literally minutes upon minutes of time. Let's see if we pull it off here. Didn't quite pull it off. Okay, let me try this again. See, what happens is he gets like yeeted into the air, and I think he just he'll get like stuck or something. I think it just basically insta kills it. It's really weird, but we didn't quite get it there. We're a little off on the timing. We're gonna definitely reset for it just because it is pretty much worth doing. Try it again here, because it takes like a good lot of hits to kill this boss, and I feel like sometimes it's not even consistent how many hits you have to hit him with. So I don't know, but all right, we're gonna try and pull it off again here. Might have turned a little too late. There we go. Awesome, we did it. So that is the quick kill glitch on that boss. For whatever reason, if he gets yeeted into the air like that, and actually gets for whatever reason, I think he just like deloads or something, you can just instantly win that boss after one hit, pretty much. So it's pretty nice and very, very useful. I'll buy a couple potions here, and we're on to the 5th world, which is a kind of lava volcano themed world. It's pretty neat. So gonna start off this area. This area we need to get a cruise boost going with our speedster suit, and we're gonna need to do another ground pound skip to get across. Nice, I missed that jump there. I ran into that platform. Dang. Try that again there. Alright, so we just want to do a ground pound. Nice, that enemy's in the way. Yeah, that's going to be fun. We might have problems with that enemy being in the way. Enemies will kind of be randomly placed throughout the map when you start the map, so it's kind of lame, but if you get unlucky, then you might have to end up resetting a room if an enemy is in your way. I think we should still be able to get this without needing... Yeah, we should be able to... Oh, dude, that didn't work, really. I was very much expecting that to work, so hopefully we can get it. We might not be able to if this enemy's in our way, because usually, as long as we can still kind of just touch it like we did there, we should be able to make... Nice. I got hit and took fall damage because I wasn't able to ground pound in time. Lovely. Alright, I'll make sure to do this first, and then change into the costume. If you do respawn from dying, nice, you do have to switch back into your speedster suit. Sometimes, though, you don't. Like, sometimes it'll just give the speedster suit properties to the regular suit. Nice, we got it there, I think. Okay, good. Alright. But yeah, sometimes it just doesn't matter if you switch back to your suit, but anyway. So we're on to another section here. I'm going to turn up the brightness on my video, actually, because it's kind of hard to see in this section. Alright, so this is a totally dark section. Normally, you're supposed to get the fire power up for this section, but you can just skip that entirely if you know your way through this like cave maze. And you have a bit of like haze that you can see if your like screen is not like too dark. Nice, I totally fell. No, no, okay. Please, dude, no, 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 okay. I just want to make sure we don't die of fall damage. Alright, anyway. So, we can, effectively just skip the fire power-up, and it is actually faster for us to skip the fire power-up, because the only thing we need the fire power-up for is pretty much this cave. It's pretty much the only part where the game kind of wants you to get the power-up. There's no other, like, puzzles in the game that really require you to have the fire power-up, so we're going to just skip it entirely. So we're going to the next little section here. We have to pull 3 levers to get the door in the cave to open. And it's basically supposed to be kind of just incentive for you to have the fire so that you can find your way around the maze. And I'll say it's not really easy if you don't know your way. But yeah, you effectively there is a boss later where we can use our fire to damage him, and it's a little bit of a time loss if we don't have it. But it's actually still not enough of a time loss to the point where it's not worth skipping the fire. It's still entirely worth skipping the fire. At this point in time, anyway. There is, like, it's pretty much only faster at this point compared to getting the fire by skipping through a certain room. It's only faster to just skip the fire entirely by a couple, like, probably a good 10 or 20 seconds. Because, there's definitely fast ways you can get through those sections. Nice. I might... okay, that's fine. Just making sure I don't get lost here. If I turn the world a way I'm not totally familiar with, it can be actually pretty easy to lose your way throughout this area. Alright, just make sure we don't get stuck. Alright, that's the door. Meant to go this way. There we go. Alright. We just need to run this way and run the way the coins are. This is a bad idea. We're probably going to die. Fall damage. Yep. Okay. Let's see really quick. I'm pretty sure if we respawn back into this room, it's going to be... Okay, it's not entirely dark. Thankfully, we just have to make our way back to... Okay, no, that's right. I forgot. If we do change suits, it does get rid of the haze that we have in that cave, so we need to go back in and back out. If we change suits... Because for whatever reason, if you change suits, the haze we can see to get through this little area and be able to see enemies just, like, disappears entirely. So it actually is very easy to get lost again at that point. Okay. Making mistakes, but it's all good, you know. Marathon runs and stuff. Alright. So, let's do this. Go this way. Not die of fall damage by turning the wrong way by accident. We can do this. We can do this, guys. We just need to go this way and then jump up here. Alright. So we're on to the 3rd lever that we need to pull. Just gonna pull that there. The enemy's gonna hit us because he's mean. I don't know, the enemies are mean here. And, like, they just are really super good at taking any opportunity to walk up and hit you while you're stopped doing stuff. It's pretty funny. Alright, so we hit those 3 levers and then the door opens there. Then we just need to run all the way back to the beginning room here. Shouldn't take very long at all. Just turn the world here and then jump through the door. I was missing the door there. There we go. Sweet. So yeah, that skips getting the fire power up, and that's pretty nice. It's not very hard to figure out how to get through the caves pretty quick. But yeah, either way, even if you grab the fire, it would only be really worth grabbing if you made it fast enough to get it, and then it would only be useful for the boss that we need it for, well, or can use it for later anyway. Dang it, I died here. We want to hit that checkpoint there and void out so that we don't die, but also so we're able to reload at that checkpoint. We're going to get cruise boost speed and combine that with our speedster suit here. Just make sure to do a double jump here soon enough. There we go. Awesome. Not too difficult. We want to make sure to go down these slides really carefully, because if we fall down this, like, particular slide here without without making sure we take it slow, we can actually die of fall damage right there. If we just run down it casual. Alright, so this room is probably one of the most annoying rooms in the entire game. It's, nice. Speaking of, I totally messed it up already. Here, I'm just gonna reset it already. If you void out or die at any point in this room has no checkpoints at all and is programmed specifically to make it so if you void out or anything, you will respawn at the beginning of this room. Like, it will just reset the entire room, which is pretty great because, yeah, it's a very long room. So if you mess up at all or if you just get totally screwed by the game's kind of bad mechanics and physics that the game has occasionally, then, yeah. You're just kind of sore out of luck. Alright, and with how slippery Flip is, it's a nightmare. Let's just say that much. It's very, very easy to mess up in this room. I do a little jump there so I can do a double jump if I need to. I'm gonna not do cruise boost right now just because I don't want to die, and it's a little bit easier to control with this, with just the speedster suit. Because, yeah, if we make any mistake at all, any small mistake here, we can, yeah, lose all the time that we spent in this room so far. Little jump there so that we can make sure that we don't fall there. Yeah, normally, again, you aren't supposed to be able to do a double jump after you turn the world, but if you do a jump as you turn the world, for whatever reason, you're able to get that double jump. And that can be very useful in a lot of places where you need to turn the world and you have a very small area you're able to actually land on. Because it can be very easy to just completely accidentally fall off of those. But yeah, so we made it through that room, which is really nice. Very nice to not have to redo it a bunch. I'm gonna get some cruise boost here. Totally messed that up. I'll actually just not get cruise boost because it's not too hard to get across here at all without it. I just need to not frickin' have the game not let me press A when I land. Sometimes when you land, it won't let you press A to jump right away. Because I think it's just, if Flip bounces just a little bit, it won't register as you being on the ground, so it won't let you do any jumps, and that's really annoying. But anyway, alright. So we just need to get through that door there. And then we're gonna use the ball and chain for probably, I think, one of the only times in the game where we actually need to use it for its sort of intended purpose, which is to be able to let us break through these little walls. And there's also one other part. Nice, dude. I hate when I miss that just barely. Oof, it's so bad. Just need to make sure not to get totally wrecked there. Alright. So yeah, we just want to make sure to not get voided out a bunch, obviously. If there's a couple areas, if you void out, you'll actually take damage as well, so want to avoid that just so we don't have to use a bunch of our potions. So anyway, this room here has a really massive skip. If we just turn the world here, there's these little platforms that we're supposed to be riding across the lava. But the loading zone to the end of this level is actually just right over here, and we can skip a very extremely long section of having to sit on these rocks and float across the lava extremely slowly. So that skip saves a lot of time, a lot of time. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna reset the room here. If you jump off of there, you will die. If you just run off of that platform, you don't die, but if you jump off of that platform, you die of fall damage. So we want to make sure not to jump off of this platform here. Okay, good. There we go. Okay. Anyway, so we're gonna do one of the only skips in the entire game that are like this. For whatever reason, there's this one specific door in the game where you can actually just jump into the loading zone behind the door because it protrudes behind the door just a little bit. So we can actually just abuse that here and skip this entire section, which is a pretty big skip actually. There's a lot of little side stuff you have to do to get through this room normally. If I can hit the loading zone here, it'd be nice. Just need to make sure to time our jumps right and not void out here and get stuck, please, game. Okay. Dude, no. Okay. Thankfully we didn't fall there. Alright, let's try this again. Come on. There we go. Okay, that wasn't as hard. It's definitely not as hard as I made it possibly look. I just made a bunch of mistakes, basically. Alright. Yeah, we don't need to get cruise boost, actually. So we're gonna fall here and just make our way to this door. And we need to grab a map in this section. It's just a little item, sort of like the keys that we need to grab. But this map is actually very, very hard to grab from across the map, the way we're gonna, or across the room, the way we're gonna do it. So it's very precise, and hopefully we get it without taking too many tries, but this is a definitely unintended skip. Nice, we got it first try. That's sweet. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, that's very precise. We have to land right on that thing and void out so we don't die. So that's very nice that we got that first try. I'm gonna grab that little health block there. I'm gonna switch to the water gun here real quick before we start this. And we're on to the 5th boss of the game. We're actually going to start the boss by skipping cutscene and then immediately shooting, because we can shoot him right away. And the way we damage this boss is pretty simple. We just shoot him with the water gun anytime he is vulnerable. So shoot him now. And we can kind of jump enough to the side here so that his wave of lava is going to be enough to the side to where we don't have, it doesn't have a hitbox on the right side there that's big enough to hit us. So we're just going to do that a couple more times. This boss is pretty simple. Just do this, like, I think about 5 or 6 times. Very, very simple, very not too complicated boss. But you're pretty much just supposed to, I think, casually just jump across the platforms to avoid getting hit by the lava, and then kind of, yeah. Anyway, so that is the 5th boss of the game, the Lava Frog, and we're done with the Fire Volcano world. And yeah, so we get out of that world without the fire power-up, because, again, we don't need it, really. It's going to save a bit of time not to grab it at all. So, alright. Gonna grab extra potion here. A couple potions, actually, because we can afford it. I'm gonna grab some cruise boost speed. And we're gonna head on to the 6th world. And then once we're done with the 6th world, we're gonna be on to the last bosses of the game. So, getting close to the end, boys. Getting close to the end. Alright. Want to try and get some damage boost here going from this enemy. There we go. So we can make it up to this platform. And we're going to do a big skip here that skips all of the puzzles in this room by just hitting the loading zone that elevator is supposed to take us to. Very easy skip. Alright. Gonna make sure not to fall too far. Nice. I hate when I do that. If you jump into the side of that wheel there, you will, yeah, you'll void out. We just need to turn this wheel enough to where the electricity will start generating, and then we just need to go into the middle and get our new power-up here, the electricity power-up. And we're just going to run off the edge here so we void out and get sent to the beginning of the level, so we're a bit up higher, which saves us a bit of time on platforming. We need to zap that gate open. This power-up is also one that we don't really need very much, so there's probably only a good couple of instances where we need it, so if we were able to, like, clip out, nice, I missed the skip, dang. If we're able to clip out of bounds, or do any other kind of clips, then we should be able to skip the electricity power-up at some point too, I think. There's definitely ways you can clip in this game, but they're not very useful right now. You can do a clip to save a bit of time getting the fire power up, but it still takes too much time to get the power up still to make it worth it. All right, so we skipped across that area just by platforming the right way and making sure that we turn the world after reaching that bird so that we can sorry, it's kind of hard to think through all this. So that we can just go through that door and skip a huge section through the game, because you're supposed to get you're supposed to be able to move some boxes out of the way so that you can platform up to that little area. But if you just do a little jump sideways to it, it's a lot easier and a lot less complicated. You don't have to go through a whole different side section room. Alright, so this room is kind of interesting. There's 4 buttons we have to press by electrifying these barrels, well, like getting these barrels to land in these little square holes here. Hopefully I can use a potion here before getting hit. Okay, good. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Now all 4 of the switches have been hit. Alright. And just need to go through this door once the door opens. Nice. Alright. Moving along. Alright, this room's got an interesting little bit of strats. We just need to get some cruise boost speed going. And we... while we jump off of that ledge there, if we kind of jump and have it push us while we're jumping off of it, we can get like a little bit of height off of it too. So that's pretty useful. I messed that up. We need to get a little jump here so that we can do a double jump over that. Nice. And then we just hit the loading zone that is blocked off to us in that room so that we can just skip that entire area. That is probably one of the only loading zones in the entire game where you can actually like hit the top of it, because for whatever reason it just protrudes to the top of that little tunnel there. We did another ground pound skip there, and that's pretty nice. It's pretty fast. We're gonna lure this little fire dude over here and freeze the fireball guy. And we're gonna push him over into this little wheel here, and that will start spinning the wheel. And then we just need to spin the second wheel while he is spinning that wheel, and that will electrify the little nodes there, and then we just need to go through the door because that will open the door there. Awesome. Alright, so got another big skip here. We can actually just skip having to go all the way to this key by simply doing a void out there so that we can get to it very quickly. And then we're gonna be going this way. And yeah, grabbing that key early skips us having to go through 2 conveyor belt sections instead of just this one here. Crap, I fell. Dang. I was trying to jump while I was on that, but Flip really likes to be choosy about when he lets you jump. It feels pretty inconsistent too, almost. Because yeah, like if you're kind of almost falling off of a platform, or if you're on an edge, it really likes to just not let you get the A press out. Like it just doesn't jump sometimes, which is pretty sick. Alright, we're gonna do a little platform skip here so that we can avoid hitting that checkpoint, because we're gonna want to get back to the other checkpoint we have active right now, because it's a lot faster. So, yeah, because we would have had to platform all the way back to up here after pushing that button. We get that done there. We're on to this next section here. This section would be really nice if we could find a useful clip that actually lets us get kind of into the little electric water pool there. If we were able to do that, we could skip this entire side section here, which would be really nice. But for now, sadly, we can't skip it, so we have to go through this side section so that we can get to the next boss. We just need to make our way through this area. There's like a kind of weird green pool of liquid that doesn't let us turn the world in that particular area. So we need to make our way through these different rooms so that we can get the drain the pool so that it will let us turn the world and move on to the next section, basically. So we need to go through this door here, and then we're going to go into one of the longest rooms in the game, which is one of the biggest reasons why it would be really nice if we found a skip in this other area. Because this room here, we have to beat up every single enemy in the room, and that takes a while because there's just a lot of enemies. So it would be a pretty large skip if we managed to find the boss key skip for that section. Alright, so need to go through, there's like 4 different rooms that open up here after pressing that button, and just beat up a couple enemies. Doing the ground pound's pretty nice because it's got a nice little area kind of effect of damage, so it can be kind of nice to not easily get hit, and then also be able to take out some large groups of enemies pretty quick. I didn't leave anyone else in there. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't pass over any enemies on accident there. Mice are really annoying. Come on. There we go. Alright, and we just need to kill this fly here. And we need to turn the world here. Flip it upside down so that we can kill a couple enemies on this side of the room. There's this enemy. And then these slugs. And that should be it. Nice, it didn't count that, because sometimes it won't count the fish that are bouncing around, and sometimes it will. I think usually only if they land in that little spot, which is kind of weird. Now it should work, I'm pretty sure. Nice, okay. Yeah. So that'll open up that little grate there, and if we could also just find a clip in this room, that would be a huge time save for sure. We just need to turn the world here, and then go through this little grate. And then that will bring us to the flip side of that room with the huge amount of green water. And then, nice, I missed that jump. And get over to this, nice, come on. We can do this, guys. There we go. Alright, we just need to jump over there, and then that will lower the water and let us turn the world here. I meant to go, crap. I meant to go this other way, but that's fine. No, dude, don't void me out, please. Thank you. Okay. Alright, just need to talk to that guy, and he will give us a key, which lets us go into the... Well, it basically is a key that we need to give to one of the NPCs that will then drain this electric lake that prevents us from getting to the boss room. So I'll just fall down here. And then he will drain the lake there. And then we just need to jump into the boss room here. Alright, and this next boss is kind of a neat boss. It's a robo bird, and we have to damage the bird, we need to zap it first, and then we need to turn the little clock counter thing, or whatever these are called, and then that will hit him, and then we just need to zap him one more time to damage him again. Nice, I don't want to fall off here. Just want to jump up here. Wait for him. He's going to land here in just a moment. Awesome. And we just want to make sure to zap him early enough to where he won't be able to attack at all. And then he'll fly over to this part here, turn this here. It's a pretty cool boss. It's probably one of the coolest bosses in the game, in my opinion, as far as the boss design. It's probably one of the cooler ones because it kind of utilizes the gravity thing a lot more creatively, I feel. So it's a cool, cool 6th chapter boss. It's pretty neat. So there's another platform weight there. Nice, I didn't mean to fall off, but that's okay. That'll just waste a tiny bit of time. Turn this there. That'll hit the bird, and this is the final hit there. Nice. So we're done with the 6th boss, and now we're on to the final bosses of the game. And yeah, it's actually getting close to the end. Believe it or not, though, the final boss in particular takes a very long time. So even if we do seem a decent bit ahead of estimate, which we should still be pretty ahead of estimate by the end anyway, we're not nearly as ahead as you guys might think. So we're on to our next boss here. This is the main evil guy of the game. His name is Axel. He's trying to stop us from defeating him, and if we defeat him, then we're going to be freed from this whole crazy cursed book. But pretty much he's just Ganondorf. We just need to reflect the bombs back at him whenever he throws these normal bombs at us. The spiked bombs will just damage us no matter what, so we can't reflect those back at him. We can only just reflect the regular bombs back at him. And we need to do that about, I think, a good freaking like 6 or 7 times. And then occasionally, like in the later phases here, he'll be just reflecting the bomb back a couple more times. Again, just kind of like Ganondorf
from Ocarina of Time's boss fight. I don't know if Ocarina of Time's Ganondorf fight was inspired by any other Zelda game boss fights, but anyway. So now he's sending back 2 times this time. The challenge is really amping up. Sadly, yeah, this is probably one of the least climactic bosses. It's probably one of the more kind of chill, boring bosses, which is kind of funny, but yeah, Axel is just kind of chill right now. But yeah, that might change. That might change here. You guys will see. So gotta smack it back at him a couple times. Gonna knock him down a bit. Gotta hit him there. Alright, and he'll occasionally spawn enemies. Most of the time when you fight him, he'll spawn some enemies, and then once you kill the enemies, he'll start throwing regular bombs again. So we should throw a regular bomb now, since we already killed all the enemies before he started throwing the bombs again. Alright. Getting closer here, very close to the end of this boss. Kill some more enemies real quick. Alright, where are you at? There you are. Alright. Oh crap, okay. Hopefully that extra swing didn't mess me up at all. Alright. I hit him one more time there, and I think we have one more hit left on this boss. Then we're on to the final boss of the game, which is a very long boss. Even casually, it's fairly long. Nice, I missed that. That sucks. That's a bit of time lost there for sure. Missing any throwback is a waste of time, so you have to wait for him to throw another one. Sometimes he'll do stuff like that where he'll spawn more enemies, and that kind of is lame. Alright, we got this. Okay, there we go. So that's that boss, and now we're on to the final boss of the game, Dark Axel. Because Axel gets all crazy and dark and stuff. But now Axel is controlling all of the gravity. We no longer have our ability to turn the world because he's kidnapped our little friend that gives us the ability to do that. And now we are having to wait through a couple of cycles here so that we... Nice, I need to make sure to land also at the right spots. Ah, man, sometimes whenever you try to hit him, like, he'll just straight up bounce back and not let you hit him, which is very annoying, because that is just a waste of a whole cycle, and I think it's just a glitch, but straight up, sometimes when you hit him, he just will bounce back and not let you hit him. so it's pretty great. It's unfortunate, but hopefully that doesn't happen this time. Here. I think we want to jump off because this is the fire. The one of the sections where we need the fire power up, but we actually skip it because it's actually faster for us to mess up those cycles and move on to the next cycles. Because effectively, the way this boss works. Sorry, I'm not explaining this super well, but the way this boss works is each round you'll be able to hit him with a different item, with a different weapon. And then you have to hit him again with your book, and that will do damage, and then you have to damage him like 8 times. But yeah, sometimes straight up when you try to hit him with one of your power-ups, he just straight up won't get taken down. He'll just straight up sometimes randomly not like let you damage him. And again, I think it is just a glitch. I don't know entirely if it is or not, but yeah, thankfully that didn't happen there. But it is a waste of time, unfortunately, when that happens. Especially if it happens twice, because then we have to sit through a third fire cycle. A third cycle where we want the fire power up, but we don't have it because we skipped it. And at that point, it's just a total waste of time. So it's kind of luck-based whether or not you end up having to redo any parts. Either that or it's just something that I don't quite understand. But I'm just gonna let him attack there. Okay, he still let us attack there, that's good. Okay, awesome. I was afraid there that he was going to not, he was just gonna bounce back again. Alright, so now we move on to the next cycle here where we just reuse all of our power-ups we used before. We can hit him with the lightning again, and hopefully again he doesn't totally negate the attack. Oh crap, I almost fell off there. If you actually void out there, if you fall off and don't make it back to the platform when he's turning the world, the cycle that you're on will restart. So that's kind of lame when that happens. You have to be pretty careful, and you have to get used to the camera being very wonk in this section. It kind of closes in and turns randomly whenever, like, against your will. You don't get to really control it. Come on, don't bounce back. Thank you. Okay. Sometimes I just wait for him to attack so that it makes it more likely for him to not bounce back. Because if you attack early, I think that's mostly when that happens. And I feel like it's still not supposed to do that. Like, it's not intended to do that, but either way. Not a huge deal. It's just one of the things. There's a lot of things that are kind of rough about running this game, and yeah, the final boss being just randomly buggy is obviously one that's probably one of the worst. Thankfully, the game didn't crash this whole time, so that's really nice. The game like really likes to crash a lot, so that is it's one very nice thing about it. So this is another cycle where we need the fire power up to damage him, so we're just gonna jump there so we can skip that, and now we move on to the next cycle where we're going to hit him with the book. And then if we don't get jebaited and lose the hit that one of the hits that we're trying to do again, then yeah, we should only need to damage him with the rest of the power-ups that we have. We have 4 more hits left. All right, please don't. See, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes he just does that. All right, well that's a big loss of time. That's okay. I'm sure we're kind of behind on schedule anyway, a bit, or ahead rather. Sorry. So I don't think it's gonna be a huge deal, but yeah, it's just a bit more time to spend, which is lame. It's bad. But that's okay. This game just really likes to be mean. It's a neat speed run though. It's got a lot of neat skips and strats and crazy glitches and stuff, so it's kind of fun in that regard. Dude, he did it again. This is probably one of the worst times he's debated me so much. That's 3 hits that we just did not get, that he just straight up did not give us. It's pretty amazing. That is extremely bad luck. Like, it's actually hilariously bad luck. But yeah, this boss is exciting, as you can tell. You know, you just kind of wait for the world to turn a bunch, and you try not to die. You try not to get jebaited by the boss. Okay, just don't damage him, that works. Okay. Alright, so we got that hit. Now we have to go back to the frickin' electricity. And yeah, like pretty much ideally, if you didn't get any hits missed, we would have literally finished the fight at that point. But now we have to sit through like literally 3 more hits that we need to do. Which is gonna be fun, because one of those cycles we're gonna have to skip again because we don't have the fire power up. So that's fun. It's a nice, massive waste of time when the boss decides to do that. And yeah, there might be some consistent way to avoid that, which I might not know, but it's just, yeah, it's a funny glitch, and yeah, makes it one fun time to run sometimes. When you're just like, yep, totally super good run whole time, and then the game's just like, nah, by the way. It's like, I don't think so, bub. Nice, we finally didn't get totally debated there on that hit. Now this is the cycle that we're gonna have to sit through and then have to jump and skip. This will take a while. But yeah, this game is a mean speed game. If you ever figure out how to make any of this stuff consistent, you can definitely Save a good bit of time on this run, and if you get really good at cruise boost movement, you can save quite a bit as well. So it's kind of a neat game. It's very wonk. It's extremely buggy, so yeah, it's you know, it's kind of neat, and I wish it wasn't so buggy, because I wish that I really want to really like this game more than I do, but I can't help but have a little bit of disdain for it now once in a while, just because it crashes and glitches freaking constantly. It's pretty nuts. Like it's really hard to get through a lot of runs. Like a lot of runs that you do, the game really likes to freeze before you finish world like 2-ish. Like I think after world 2 you're usually a little more safe, but yeah, it's extremely punishing for a lot of things if you make mistakes or if you just get really bad luck. Now, since we got extremely bad luck, we have to skip that cycle, because that's the cycle where we need to fire. It's definitely saves a lot more time if you don't have to skip 3 cycles, because having to jump off for 3 of the fire cycles is really bad for the last one. The last one you just have to spend like 2 minutes or a minute or so while the world turns a bunch, and then you have no choice but to jump off, because the game just decided not to let you get the hit. But yeah, as I said, this boss fight is freaking very long. Compared to every other boss fight in the game and pretty much every single other room in the game, this is exponentially longer, like at least twice as long as pretty much any other boss or anything else. So even regular Axel is not nearly this long. Oh crap, we don't fall off. Good. Alright. Well, we're chugging along here. Chugging along. Alright, gonna be able to get this hit, hopefully. Hopefully the game doesn't totally crap out and not let us get it again. Come on, game. Come on, game. Missing the cycle there. Yeah. Okay, we're just gonna... Let me get it, please. Okay, good. Thankfully I have health potions. If I died there, I would have to literally do the whole boss fight again. Which would have been really bad. Alright. Yeah, thankfully we didn't get totally wrecked there. Alright. Alright, I think this next hit should be the last hit. So... it'll take a couple minutes before we get to that hit point, but I will let you know when that's happening, because the final hit is when time ends. So it'll be just about a minute or two here. At least I think it should be the last hit anyway. I'm pretty sure I didn't miscount that. With 3 hit misses, and I can just kind of remember by which power-up we're on that we're needing to use to hit him next. Alright. Getting closer, though. Getting closer. And it's fun when the camera zooms in like that and the gravity decides to change direction. Because sometimes it's just very easy to not even see it do that. Because the camera just is forcing itself into the wall next to you. Alright. Should be the last hit here. Nope, okay, never mind. The game jebaited me out of another hit. Let's go. That is 4 hits. That is massive, massive loss of time. That is an extremely huge waste of time. So that's cool. That's awesome. This boss is really good. It's a good boss. It's a well-designed boss. It's good. Oh man. Yeah, this game is brutal. I'll just be extra careful and wait for him to finish his attacks so I can, whatever. It's just so much faster if you don't need to wait for him to do his attacks, and if the game just doesn't do that to you, because you can just hit him immediately. So, yeah, it's a really dumb part of the game, probably, I would say. Probably the dumbest part of the whole game. Alright, let's see if the game debates me again. If not, this will be the last hit coming up here. Not quite yet. Once I hit him with the book. Come on. Okay, he didn't debate me. Alright. Time is coming up right now. Time. Alright. That was Flip's Twisted World. We had tons of flops around the way, but that's okay. Because yeah, it's a cool run to show off. It's a lot of fun to run and actually get a pretty decent run out of it. And also it was a lot of fun to route, so yeah, it was a fun time. Yeah, and then basically Flip gets freed from the book here, and his like wizard trainer dude, he's all like, Flip, man, you gotta be careful, you gotta not go reading, you know, cursed books and stuff, man. And then he's all like, yeah, you did it though. I don't really know the best way to explain this ending, but pretty much, yeah, Flip just makes it back, and the world in that, I don't know, like the world is saved, but I don't really think that makes a lot of sense because it's in the book. Maybe it's, I don't know, I think they maybe go into the explanation of how that saves the real world or something. I don't know. It's an alright game though. I think overall the game had a lot of ambition. It was very much, they very much wanted this game to be a very good game. And I think it's an alright game. The character design's not too bad. The speed strats are kind of cool with all the different kind of skips you can do and whatnot, but yeah, with how much it crashes and with that final boss fight literally being a total jerk without like any with absolutely no reason to be. Yeah, I don't know. It's a kind of frustrating game to run occasionally, but I'd say if you don't mind grinding a bit, and if you don't mind games being a bit glitchy, this is actually a pretty cool game to check out. And you know, it's casually, it's a lot of fun to do, in my opinion, just trying to get through all the puzzles and stuff, because there's a lot of neat puzzles that you really have to kind of use your brain and try to think of how exactly you're going to reach certain areas without dying of fall damage and stuff. That's pretty much the biggest hurdle in the game for a lot of areas, is just, can I make it across that gap or that jump, and can I not die when I hit that platform? And it's pretty great, but it's a fun game. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything. We might be a good bit ahead of schedule, so there might be some backup runs coming up. But if not, next run's gonna be coming up here pretty soon, so you guys stay tuned for that. Hope you guys enjoyed watching Flip's Twisted World. Yeah, if you are looking for a new speed game and you don't mind games being a little jank around the edges, I'd say it's a fun game to check out, so yeah. I appreciate you guys having me. Not sure if, yeah, no, okay, yeah, you're here, good, awesome.
Here, yes.
Okay.
Right, thanks for running, and
Yeah.
it was a really fun game, very interesting.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's a cool game. I think so.